Hi, guys, and welcome back to Ask Cindy. Today's episode comes from a viewer who's been noticing patterns in her life and wants to understand the mirrors of reflection. Why do we keep attracting the same painful experiences? What is life trying to show us? Have you ever felt stuck in a cycle, whether it's dishonesty, betrayal, or feeling unappreciated? This episode is for you. The question reads as follows: why do I keep attracting the same painful experiences? No matter how much I try to grow, I still find myself in relationships where I feel betrayed, lied to, or unappreciated. It's like the same pattern keeps repeating, just with different faces. What does this say about me? How am I doing this to myself? How do I break free from it? So, guys, have you ever felt like life is giving you the same lessons over and over again, whether it's dishonesty, abandonment, rejection, or people taking you for granted? Then keep watching. Because here's the truth: life isn't happening to you, it's happening through you. I know the cliche is for you, but through you is apt, it's appropriate. Everything you experience is a mirror of your internal world, reflecting your beliefs, wounds, subconscious patterns. But this reflection isn't always direct. It's not as simple as someone lied to me, so I must be a liar. I know that's the superficial answer a lot of people give you because they don't understand mirrors the way that I do. It's not until you look at life through a non dual lens and you understand yourself as the source and the true meaning of what's written in the Bible. Let us make mankind in our image. You see, that is the beginning of all understanding. That is the beginning of your world as you know it, beyond what you think you know. It allows you to see through the illusion of separation and helps you understand yourself so deeply as the source of the universe that it changes how you see everything. So when I hear people say, "Oh, someone lied to me, so that must mean I'm a liar," or "Where are you lying to yourself?" without having that deep understanding of what these mirrors are, I kind of cringe a little. Because it just goes to show me that there's a huge gap in humanity and their lack of understanding non-duality through the lens that gives you clarity and a deep responsibility and love for mankind because of the way that they mirror you so that you can see inside of yourself and become aware of the vast consciousness that is on display as you, through you, for you. So, it's not just as simple as someone lied to me, so it means I'm a liar. That's really not it. What it's really showing you is energy, self perception, hidden truths that need to be acknowledged, patterns that you grew up with as a child, things that you need to complete within yourself, addictions, triggers, and judgments. There's so many different patterns. We're going to just cover a few, otherwise, this episode would be way too long. All right. Now, let's scratch the surface a little deeper because I feel like more people need to understand this. The hidden messages in your reflections. Let's break this down with real examples. If you're experiencing people lying to you, ask yourself. Again, everything is a look inward. If you look within, you'll have the answer because this gives you the source behind what it is that you're seeing. And if there's a pattern, then you need to ask yourself, where am I lying to myself? Am I ignoring my intuition or convincing myself that something is okay when deep down I know it's not? There's so many different ways in which this can manifest. I'm just giving you a few examples. Where are you being not yourself? Where are you lying within yourself and portraying something that you're not, or being okay with something that is not? Where within yourself Are you doing that which is triggering you? Because the judgment mirror, or that which upsets us, usually leads back to the aspect of ourselves that we're rejecting, and usually leads to a trigger that needs healing, or a pattern inside of you that needs correcting, or the people wouldn't show up in your image. Let us make mankind in our image. You see, the words are so much truer than you realize, but first you have to understand them from experience. I can. That's why I teach. All right. Betrayal or abandonment. Ask yourself, where do I betray my own needs? Am I abandoning myself to keep someone else happy? Am I betraying myself to keep someone else happy? A lot of the times, especially in the SP community, what ends up happening is in order to chase someone else, we sacrifice our own soul and then don't understand why it's done to us. When in fact, the answer's always right in your face. Because you abandon your own soul to chase something outside of you, now the mirror matches. It always does. So relationships are your closest mirrors. Romantic relationships are the closest mirrors to what you're doing unconsciously to yourself in order to see. And that's why the relationship with your soul matters so much. You see, if you're willing to ride or die for yourself, and your biggest fear would be losing yourself by chasing someone else, like that's the only thing that you should be afraid of. And if you're not willing to do those things, then you will attract the commitment that you want. But if you're willing to sacrifice yourself, then you will be sacrificed. It is law, because love is a mirror, and it will do what you do to yourself. And I struggle sometimes to teach people this because they swear up and down they're not doing this, and yet they tolerate disrespect. They tolerate betrayal. They tolerate cheating and abuse. They sacrifice their souls all the time. And then they don't understand why they're treated so badly. But it began with what they allowed. Don't do it. See, I'd rather be alone than be in a bad situation. Period. And as long as you understand that and you don't sacrifice your soul, you will be able to enjoy wonderful connections, meaningful relationships, people that love you as deeply as you love yourself, because the mirror never lies. All right. Feeling unseen or unappreciated? Ask yourself, where am I not fully seeing or appreciating myself? Where do I not value who I am? Do I give of myself so freely? Do I ignore my own needs? Do I put others above myself? Where does the mirror match my own actions, my own unconscious actions? Relationships will always show you what you're doing to yourself. And the hardest thing to do is appreciate the messengers, and yet if you don't do it, you don't realize what's going on. Like I said, you guys, we run on autopilot almost, and we're not free until we are aware of what's happening. And you don't appreciate people as they are or the messages that they bring unless you understand yourself fully. Constant rejection in relationship or career? Where am I rejecting parts of myself? Am I expecting rejection before it even happens? That's a big one. Like, if you keep getting rejected in a career, is it because you keep telling that story over and over again? Or if you keep getting rejected in relationships, where are you rejecting? What are you rejecting about yourself? What is it that you don't like? You want to know the difference between myself and most people? They don't love the good, the bad, and the ugly. I do. It's the things that I've gone through, they're not pretty, but they are the things that made me wise beyond my years and that allow me to give you this wisdom so freely. I didn't even think about it. It's so natural. Why? Because I turned the darkest things about me into something of beauty, wisdom, something I love about myself. I'm not trying to reject myself. That's just not what I do. In fact, I When people do that, I just kind of move along. Most people don't. Most people then feel like they need to prove themselves to somebody. I will never do that. I will never abandon Cindy to chase someone else. That's why people commit to me. My mirror matches. If I teach you nothing else, I hope you learn these things from me. All right. What reflections have been showing up in your life lately? Drop a comment and let's talk about it. If you need help understanding these mirrors, I am your best resource. I am scary good with these. I have a deep, deep understanding of these mirrors beyond what's normal. I can help you understand them to degrees and levels that most people cannot because they have not achieved source perspective and they're not living the word. Not this to this degree, but I am. And if you need that help, I love this kind of thing. All right, so please do look me up. All right, step 4, the process of breaking the cycle. First things first, understanding your mirror is one thing. Changing it, that's the real work. At first, you need to observe without judgment. Instead of reacting, step back and ask, what is this showing me about myself? This is not an easy thing. My brain, because I've trained it, does me a huge favor and allows me to pause rather than reacting. Because younger Cindy and the Cindy that I am now are two different people, but because I had to rewire my brain. And so now my brain, before reacting, shows me an image of myself yelling at myself in the mirror. Like, and it makes me pause. Most people are not this fortunate, but if you can create a pause and ask yourself, what is this showing me about me? That is the beginning of your awareness. Not why are they doing this? This is not going to help you because you're just going to get more of that. Your subconscious answers you back with the same response that you've gotten. You got to understand your subconscious is kind of like an AI, but you got to know how to ask it the right questions. All right. Second, identify the root belief. Every experience confirms a subconscious belief. What is yours? Example, if people lie to you, do you secretly believe that people can't be trusted? Do you openly admit that people can't be trusted? You see, if this is a belief of yours, then you're going to have people lie and betray to you. Why? Because in your mind, people can't be trusted. Or I have to accept dishonesty to keep love. Is that your belief? Is that why you keep struggling to keep someone that's dishonest in your life? You have to look at these things. You have to be really willing to examine these things. It's important. Next, shift the internal story. Once you identify the belief, rewrite it. If you've been carrying around, I'm not worthy of love, I need you to replace it. Every opposite, everything has its opposite. Meaning, if I say I'm not worthy of love, then equally true is I'm deeply worthy of love and respect. Both things exist within one another. They're one and the same end of the same spectrum. So, just as equally as you realize you believe that, you can claim its opposite. In fact, it's very important that you do that because if you use what's given to you in the present moment, you solve the equation before you and you'll understand your reality in a different light. But here's the important thing. Don't just say it, embody it. Behave like you mean it. Don't tolerate crap. Look like you're worthy of love and respect. Fourth, take aligned action. If you believe you deserve honesty, how do you need it to start showing up? For example, setting boundaries, walking away from dishonesty, trusting your intuition instead of explaining it away. So many different ways you guys can do this. Again, I'm just giving you examples. Have you ever caught yourself shifting your internal beliefs and suddenly seeing your outer world change? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your experiences. You see, this is scripture. Renew your mind and see a new world. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but if you start to live the words that are written, it'll become your own wisdom. It'll change how you see not only the Bible, but your dominion over your experiences. All right, the science behind how this works and why. This isn't just spiritual fluffy stuff, okay? Quantum physics tells us that the observer influences what is observed. The moment you shift your perception of self, your external world begins to realign to match. This basic science. Use it. Think about it. Have you ever changed your mindset and suddenly everything around you shifted? When you stopped chasing love, someone appeared. When you stopped chasing and accepting less, better opportunities came in. Your reflection is waiting on you to change. The world's not going to change before you do. Think about it this way. If you ever, aside from cartoons and scary movies, if you ever walked up to the mirror and it smiled before you did, you'd freak out. Why? Because that goes against the natural order of things. You smile, then the mirror matches. The world is exactly the same way. Final thoughts. Know thyself to change your reflection. The world is a hall of mirrors. Most people walk through it blind, reacting to what they see instead of understanding what it means. But once you truly know thyself, you become the master of your reality. So let me ask you, what's one pattern in your life that keeps repeating? And what do you think it's trying to show you? Drop a comment. I always want to hear your insights. If this episode resonated, like, share, and let's keep this conversation going. Someone out there needs to hear this today. Until next time, know thyself and the world will reveal its secrets. This I promise you. Namaste, my friends. Thanks for listening.